Welcome to the CEO's blog for this week, and as usual, we'll start with COVID-19 and where we are with our protocols. Harness Racing New South Wales over the next couple of days, and by Monday, should have a decision with regard to the regional boundaries and whether they'll stay in place going forward or whether they will be removed or relaxed. So that announcement will come out on Monday. I'm sorry I can't help you any earlier with that, but we're just checking a few more details as we do day to day and week to week with New South Wales Health and other bodies with what is happening in New South Wales. The protocols for participants, of course, won't change, and I must keep on stressing that the wearing of masks is essential. So please help us, help yourself, help others, and wear your masks. Social distancing is always going to be with us for some time. But another thing that we're looking at is bringing people back onto the track. Protocols have been developed. Those protocols are in line with what the New South Wales health orders are. They are also in line with what the other two codes are expected to carry out and are very much like what Racing New South Wales has. Now, we're concentrating on harness racing, so our protocols may be slightly different, but that is the nature of where we are. So when those protocols come out, the clubs, they will do their very best, as they always do, to adhere to them, but we ask that patrons also adhere to them, follow the protocols, make it easy for the clubs, because as it is not easy as these health orders stipulate. So on COVID, that's it for this week. I look forward to Monday and hopefully we'll have a decision, and the decision will be that we're moving back out of regional racing and you can travel freely around the state. How exciting has the Breeders' Challenge Series been thus far? We've just completed the first round of both the 2 and 3-year-old divisions, and now we're moving into the second round of both divisions. Please, whatever you do, be aware of what the conditions are. Don't listen to an expert because the expert may be incorrect. Ring Sean Snudden and understand what you need to do to be in the second round of heats, to be in the Blue Series finals, and also how the regional series work. The conditions are there. Whatever we do with the COVID boundaries, the Breeders' Challenge Series conditions will stay in place. So take the opportunity to race in these races, but whatever you do, please call Sean. Now, recapping on where we are with the 3-year-old first round heats. At Parks, Gendon Strike for Chris and Anthony Frisbee won the Fillies division, and Smooth Bart won the Colts and Geldings division for Steve Turnbull. At Young, Master Jude won the Colts and Geldings division for Cole Thomas and Blake Jones, whilst Roller Dream took out the Fillies for Ray Walker and Darryl Perro. At Tamworth, the Colts and Geldings division was won by Major Bob, driven by Blake Hughes for Clayton Harmey, whilst the Fillies division was decimated by scratchings, but victory went to I Can Run for Robbie Morris. James Rattray trained and drove both winners at Penrith, in filly Delightful Angel and gelding Jim RT. Make sure, trainers, you don't miss the nominations for Wagga and Newcastle next Friday. They close on Tuesday. That's it for the Breeders' Challenge for this week, but there's some exciting racing coming forward over the next 7 days. Again, whilst the Breeders' Challenge were the highlights of the week, there were many other highlights. We start off with Riverina Paceway last Friday afternoon, where the win of Irvine for Amy Day, flying down the outside, was typical of the horse's namesake, the brilliant North Sydney and Australian Rugby League winger Ken Irvine. Irvine is raced by mates Wally Mann, Jeff Cooper and Imelda Catchlove, and there are many more wins on the horizon for the horse. Trainer Chris Hughes landed a double with maiden Eagles and Indians in a slick 154.9 and Trunky Tash. Both were driven by Blake Jones, who landed treble, also winning with Shadow Sign. It was also pleasing to have Jimmy Brown back driving a winner for Troy Fletcher with Black Derby. There was a good spread of winners at Newcastle, with only Mark Callaghan and Tom Ison combining for a double with Highline and Motu Sapphire. At Tabcorp Park Menangle on Saturday night, Balraj, James Rattray, upset his more fancied stablemate King of Swing. The win was the first of a double for James. Rusty Crackers in winning rewarded Brooke McPherson and Thomas Gilligan for their long treks to Menangle over the past few weeks from the Riverina. It was Brooke's first win at Menangle, and previously Thomas had won the Rising Stars heat at the track in 2012, whilst Mark Callaghan and Tom Ison backed up from Newcastle, winning with Lacey's Lad. Steve Turnbull landed a treble at Parks on Sunday with St Emilion, Firestorm Red and Smooth Bard. Menangle on Monday, and Craig Cross trained 4.5 winners, including Slingshot, driven by Mason Beresford. It was Mason's first drive in a race, and his parents, Paul and Alyssa Beresford, were very proud and extremely excited after the win. Menangle on Tuesday, Craig Cross and Luke McCarthy landed a double, as did Blake Fitzpatrick, as a trainer with Moment in the Sun and driver with Total Diva for Peter Hansen. Jimmy Brown made it 2 wins for the week at Young on Tuesday night, when he won with Better Bet Big for trainer Tony Turner. Jimmy will no doubt be looking forward to the Kari JC Caffin Plate for Indigenous drivers on Breeders' Challenge Finals night. Blake Jones landed a double with Master Jude and Alabama Tip. At Gold Crown Paceway on Wednesday night, Bernie Hewitt trained half the program, driving Alta Equus and Mako Jewel, with son Doug driving Crazy Shippo and daughter Gemma driving Make Mine Heaven. At Tamworth yesterday afternoon, Tom Ison landed a treble to make it 6 winners for the week. To close the week at Penrith last night, another one of our young stars, Josh Gallagher, landed a treble. No doubt Josh and Tom will contest the 2020 Rising Stars, which will also be held on Breeders' Challenge and Trots New South Wales Finals night at Tabcorp Park Menangle on October 24. Don't forget the Breeders' New South Wales Local Supporting Locals Stallion Tender, which closes on September 25. Go to the Breeders' New South Wales website or contact Martin Sieper, who has been working very hard on this promotion, and there's some brilliant stallions there that will certainly take your fancy. As I say, closes September 25, so do your very best in getting in there and getting your tender in. A very important initiative that quite a few of our very diligent people have been working on over these last few months is the establishment and ongoing operation of the New South Wales harness racing industry standardbred rehoming company. This company is headed up by Harness Racing New South Wales board member Peter Nugent, who is the chairman of the rehoming company. Peter and his dedicated volunteers who assist, Mari Neal, Robert Marshall, Julie Morn, Michael Brown and Dennis Conroy, are near fully launching the rehoming and retraining initiatives which go with this very critical part of our industry. There are a number of other volunteers such as Marissa DeMarco and the SPPHA working with the rehoming company to make the retraining of retired horses a success. Anyone who wants to contact the company should email Kira at Harness Racing New South Wales, who will connect you to Peter and his team. The team have been meeting up to 3 times a month recently, and right now have an outside company looking for surrogate mares. If you have mares which may be suitable for surrogacy, please contact Kira by email or phone, and the company will be able to connect you directly to that company which are looking for those mares. Whilst American news isn't going to be a regular part of the blog each week, the achievements of Todd McCarthy this past week cannot go unrecognised. Todd has taken the United States by storm, winning 4 races at the Meadowlands last week and landing 5 winners from his first 25 starts. Todd joins brothers Andy and Luke as winning drivers in the Northern Hemisphere, but meanwhile Shane and Lauren Tritton continue to go from winner to winner in New York, including My Ruby Star at Yonkers last week. So maybe one day we'll see young Mason Beresford, Josh Gallagher, Tom Ison, some of our real stars having a shot at America as well. There's nothing wrong with that because it shows how successful Australia can be on the world stage. They'll all come home as they do, but whatever successes they take, we will fully support them all the way down the line. And sadly, to close the blog this week, I acknowledge the passing of 2 great contributors to our industry in Tony Pace and Robert Turner. Both Tony and Robert were breeders, they were owners, they were licensed participants. They were club officials. They were administrators of our sport. They were sponsors as well. Their immense contribution to our industry will be sorely missed, but will be long remembered. Both to the families of both men, I pass on the condolences of the board of Harness Racing New South Wales, the management of Harness Racing New South Wales, and the industry at large. During these very difficult times of COVID, we can't all attend their funerals, but to their families, those condolences are heartfelt and they're very deeply felt. To Tony and Robert, you're great contributors. Thank you for what you have done for this industry, and as I say, you will be remembered for many, many years to come, and probably forever. That's it for the blog this week. As I say, look forward to highlights next week of some wonderful racing which we will have here in New South Wales.